like us to have a different conversation. There has been call, rather pressure, to have Makueni Governor Kivutha Kibwana run for presidency come 2022. And here on KTN News Center in our studio this morning, we're glad to have Kevin Migwe, who's a brand strategist, the man behind the push to have Kivutha Kibwana run for presidency come 2022. Thank you so much for joining us here on KTN News Center. Why Kivutha Kibwana? Why not any other governor or any other Kenyan?
I think for us, what we saw, with the little he's been given, he's done so much. He's changed the Makueni County landscape. He started a milk factory. He started a mango factory. And apart from that, he's a servant leader, what Kenya has been looking for. If you go to the ground, I remember there's a photo that was trending of him stuck in jam. No sirens, not the usual sirens. I think Kenyans were so used to when a leader becomes elected, he forgets about the ground and he goes and he continues. You only see him passing. And the next time you see him is the next election. But Kivutha Kibwana has been constant. I think for his first term, I think we've given him a thumbs up. And we believe he's a kind of leader which Kenya requires now. Yeah.
And there is a, let me call it hashtag,
yes,
that's trending, that has been trending on social media, apende asipende. So whether he likes it, translating it to English, whether he likes it or not, he will be the governor. But Kivutha Kibwana says he's not even considering, I mean, he will be the president come 2022, but he says he's not even considering that's it.
Okay. Let me tell you the origin of the hashtag. Me and a civil activist called Mutemi Kiama of the Wanjiko Revolution have been doing a lot of campaigns for different individuals. So we thought of ourselves, why don't you do a campaign that will be led by the public itself? So it's when we looked at social media and said, what would be the best way? Let's try and tell people to nominate leaders who they think are the ones who better represent them. So we went to social media, said, let's come with apende asipende, and we tell pinpoint leaders from the society, from the MCA to the MP, to the governors, to the presidential. But what we decided to start with was presidential, because there's been a lot of talk on social media of Kibwana running. And that's why we came with apende asipende, telling Kivutha Kibwana, the public would like you to represent them as a president, because they believe. You see, the problem of Kenya, we've been independent for how many years? The same problems, the same thing. And then every election cycle, we get the same issues. Yeah, you part of people are happy, then tribalism comes about. Then before the campaigns, guys get a lot of tribalism. Then people shop before the elections. People go up country. And then after the election, there's some sort of a peace campaign. Then all of a sudden, again, a handshake or a lull. So we're looking for a leader who will represent Kenya, because we're not longer talking about a tribal vote, we're talking about Kenyan vote. And I think Kibwana represents that Kenyan vote for us as a people.
Okay, and what if, how sure are you rather, that assume he runs for presidency and he wins the election, how sure are you that he will lead the nation to the right direction?
Okay, they say, even in the Bible tells us, with whatever small you've been given, you'll be judged. The small county Kibwana has been given, he's done a tremendous job. Imagine giving him a national budget of the kind that Kenya has. You see, look at it like in the 50s, when we were getting independence. We had said we'll fight poverty, ignorance, disease. Then we went and added more problems. We added tribalism. Yeah? Then we added corruption. Now we're adding debt. But Kibwana, on the other hand, in his county, he's gone reducing the county problems. He said that farmers don't have a market for their mangoes. Why don't you bring mango juice? Farmers don't have access to milk. Why don't you make for them package milk and open for them a factory? People don't have access to healthcare. Why don't you open for them a hospital? You know, I think if you look at the Makueni hospital, it's one of the best. So I think for us, if we give him a bigger budget, I think if he has done well with a small budget, I expect him to do good with a big budget.
All right. Let's talk about this message that he sent after Madaraka Day. Let me read it for you.
Okay.
And he said, Kenya needs a third liberation, liberation for economic independence, a rooting out corruption and development of the grassroots economy. Do you think he is the man he's talking about?
Yes. I think maybe for him, it's a subliminal message he was saying of what he believes a leader should be. Because to Kenyans, I think Kenyans have believed a leader is somebody who has enough finances to campaign during the election. But Kibwana is proving that you don't need a lot of finances, you just need to do service delivery to the people. Because what else do Kenyans want? Me and you want a good Kenyan. For me, I'm a father of two. I believe I should be able to leave a future for my children. Yeah, and I think Kibwana will be the person who will build a future for our children. Because what else do we live for? A future. So Kibwana is the kind of person who is going to fight corruption. Because look at it. He refused to allow the MCAs to have their way in his first term. Because they were going to misuse public resources. And that's the leader we want. Somebody who, we are paying taxes. You see, we are being told we're being taxed left, right, and center. So who's going to protect us from those taxes? Kibwana looks like the person who will say, we are spending too much on things that are not for the wananchi. Let us spend more with the wananchi. Yes.
And so let's talk about the signatures. How many signatures are you planning to collect? And once you collect these signatures, what are you going to do with them? Are you going to present them to Kibwana?
Yes. At the time, we're gunning for 10 million people. Yeah, and remember, I think if you look at the last presidential election was won by, I think, 8 million. So we're trying to target 10 million people. Because, you know, something funny, when Kenyans are voting, everyone is voting for a future. No matter which direction somebody votes, whatever party you choose, or whatever leader you choose. And that's what we're trying to tell. Bring all of us together and tell people, this is alternative leadership. Because you see, before what we've been doing, we've been letting parties tell us, this is the leader, you vote for these guys. So now we want to start from the grassroots and tell people, the public has said, these are our leaders. Why don't we vote for him? And that's the reason now we are saying, we'll collect 10 million signatures, take it to Kibwana and tell him, we've convinced you enough that you'll vote. Yeah.
Collecting 10 million signatures is one thing. Voting is another thing.
Yes.
We look at the voting patterns in this country. Every election year, people vote either based on tribal voting, the tribal system, or party system. What makes you think that once you collect these 10 million signatures, Kivutha Kibwana, should he run for presidency come 2022, he will get the 10 million votes? How sure are you that Kenyans will vote for him?
What I'm happy about with the recent happenings in Kenya, what Kenyans have learned, you don't suffer as a tribe, you suffer as a country, regardless of where you voted. Somebody in Turkana is suffering the same way somebody in Central Province is suffering. When the prices of good go up, what happens? You're not suffering because you voted for this party, I'm not going to suffer. So what Kenyans has happened, Kenyans have become enlightened and learned by day. And what determines how you live in this country is how you vote. And that's the beauty of it. And always remember by day, life is a learning lesson. We learn when we reach there. Remember that Kibaki tried twice. Before he became the president. Uhuru tried once before he became the president. So it's a matter, trial and error. You will try, in case he gets it well in, and we'll push it. And let me not teach you one thing we say. I don't know it's a dream, but we're no longer counting tribal votes in Kenya. For us, we believe the youth will vote as Kenyan votes. Because you want, me and you, wherever we are from, we don't know. For you want prices where you can afford, you want a home, you want water, you want health. What else does any? That's what all Kenyans want, regardless of tribe. So let's talk about it no longer. Let's avoid saying tribal. Let's talk about Kenyan vote. Yeah.
Right, thank you so much, Kevin Migwe, talking to us about the Apende Asipende hashtag that has been trending on social media, urging Makueni Governor Kivutha Kibwana to run for presidency come 2022. We'll see how that plays out. Now, the wife